Batman is one of the most iconic superheroes that there are in the world, as is shown by his popularity, which has consistently lasted for over 75 years of comics. And in that time, many people have played the role of Bruce Wayne, from Adam West to the new Ben Affleck Batman. But this video is going to focus on the animated DC movies, video games and TV series that have featured Batman, to give you a list of the 5 best Batman voice actors. Not live action actors, just voice actors. Number 5. Diedrich Bader. Diedrich Bader has played Batman mainly in the show Batman the Brave and the Bold, along with the tie-in video game.
Hiya, Batman! Look! You're starring in a video game! Wanna play?
And the movie, although he has a very small role, JLA Adventures Trapped in Time.
I'm putting the Batwing on autopilot. It should keep Toyman busy while I help Cyborg.
The show Batman the Brave and the Bold is based on the rather corny Silver and Golden Age comics, which are so insane that there is no way the writers weren't smoking something good all the time they were writing them, because that's how the show comes across, as the plots are somewhat camp and rather insane.
I always felt Batman was best suited in the role of gritty urban crime detective, but now you guys have him up against Santas and Easter bunnies? I'm sorry, but that's not my Batman.
But if you accept that this is a different version of Batman and watch it with an open mind, it's actually a pretty good TV show. It knows it's a corny show and it embraces it.
To be sure, this is a lighter incarnation, but it's certainly no less valid and true to the character's roots as the tortured Avenger crying out for mommy and daddy.
And a great part of the show is Diedrich Bader's voice. It's incredibly macho and over-the-top serious and intense, and it is perfect for this Batman, as his antics are over-the-top nuts, but he takes them deadly serious.
It was my honor to fight by your side, President Lincoln.
The show has such scenes as Batman going up against his normal villains and only just overcoming them, and then he will fight Darkseid, who is so powerful even Superman has had trouble with him, and yet Batman defeats him with relative ease. The show is really just one big ego trip on how great Batman is.
Everyone here thinks he's the greatest superhero in the universe.
'Cause it's true!
But the show works in no small part thanks to Diedrich Bader. His voice somehow makes it more believable, or at least you're able to go with it. No matter how bizarre the show's plot is, Batman is a grounded character who is never fazed and takes all seriously and finds a solution to any problem. And if it had been any other voice actor, then this show probably wouldn't have worked. Number 4. Roger Craig Smith. This actor first voiced Batman in the video game prequel, Batman Arkham Origins. The other 3 Arkham games feature the voice of Kevin Conroy as Batman, but the Batman Arkham Origins game was developed by WB Montreal instead of Rocksteady Studios, and it was a prequel to the other games. And because of this, WB Montreal decided they wanted a younger voice for Batman, and so they casted Roger Craig Smith in lieu of Kevin Conroy. And after this game was released, when a toy company decided to base a Batman series of films on their toys in order to sell more of those toys, they gave him a call and cast him in the Batman Unlimited series as well. Personally, I think he's better in the Arkham Origins video game, but that may just be because the story and dialogue are better than the Batman Unlimited movies and online series, which are essentially just incredibly long adverts for toys. He is also the voice of Captain America in the TV show Avengers Assemble, and is the current voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, and has been since 2010. And in the Arkham Origins game, his voice comes across as being both a younger Batman, but also a Batman who is seething with rage.
It appears the game is over before it even begins.
I'm not playing games, Slade.
At this point, Batman has only been Batman for 2 years, and he's still very angry and violent. Which makes sense, as the Batman we see in the other Arkham games has been at this for longer, and so has mellowed slightly. Though mellow is a very relative word when talking about Batman.
Where's Black Mask?
How the hell should I know?
I'm going to make you talk. How much pain you endure before that is in your hands.
But this actor does a fantastic job, capturing Batman's alpha male status, his endless rage, and his masculinity all at once. It's completely over the top dramatic, but you can go with it, because Batman works so well with the overly dramatic moments. The voice also makes him sound incredibly macho, which is always a good touch for a Batman voice. With that being said, his Batman voice is great, but his Bruce Wayne voice isn't that much different from his Batman voice. It's a bit lighter, but there are times when it sounds exactly the same, and this actually leads to Bane learning his identity, as he recognises Batman's voice as the same as Bruce Wayne's. But of course, him recognising the voice is a plot point of the game, so we can't really lay this at the actor's feet. However, when you see him doing the Bruce Wayne voice in the game's DLC, A Cold Cold Heart, it doesn't really sound that much different either.
Gotham needs more people like him.
Bruce!
Hey,
I am blown away by your support.
it's well deserved. You're going to change the world, Ferris.
But apart from that, the actor did an incredible job. Number 3, Troy Baker. Troy Baker is no stranger to voicing DC characters. He has played the Joker in the video game Batman Arkham Origins and the Batman Unlimited series Joker, and has voiced Two-Face in the Arkham City and Arkham Knight video games. But he is also the voice of Batman for both the LEGO Batman games, the straight-to-DVD LEGO Batman movies, and the Telltale Batman game series. I say the straight-to-DVD LEGO movies because of course the LEGO Batman movie had the voice of Will Arnett. Troy Baker's voice is a softer and more intelligent sounding Batman. He's not trying to drive fear as much into his enemies. The voice is serious, but not too intimidating. At least not in the LEGO Batman series.
Bats and rats aren't so different.
You're not actually a bat.
You'll come to learn emotions are a weakness. Crime fighters can afford to give in to them.
In the Batman Telltale series, his voice has a modulator to make it sound warped.
Gotham needs a hero. Someone to hunt down people like you.
Which is a lot more intimidating, but the LEGO games are aimed at kids, while the Telltale series is more adult in its content.
Are you trying to tease me, Bats?
Is it working?
This voice modulator is of course following from Ben Affleck using the same modulator for his Batman voice. And it's amazing that this hasn't really been used sooner in animation, as it's a great way to give Batman his scary and distinct voice, without the risk of someone recognising the voice of Bruce Wayne. And I do love his voice as Batman. It's commanding, but not in an over-the-top dramatic way. Instead, he uses his voice to create a clever and more somber Batman that he portrays perfectly. Number 2, Bruce Greenwood. I first came across Bruce Greenwood as the voice of Batman in the film Batman Under the Red Hood, and when I started watching the Young Justice TV series, I quickly realised he was Batman in that as well, which does at first make you wonder if the two universes are linked, but unfortunately they are not, and they are two separate universes. His voice is different to all the others as he talks in a deep and sophisticated voice that is almost a whisper at times. He speaks so quietly and rarely raises his voice, or lets his anger or emotions inflect into his voice. It makes for a very different animated Batman.
I sought to protect the team from—
Protect us from what? Knowledge that might have saved our lives?
You almost died! Enough.
It makes people have to listen carefully to hear what he has to say, and that makes a statement in itself, that he is in absolute control of the scene and doesn't need to raise his voice to command those around him. He is confident and expects all his orders to be followed instantly with no questions asked.
You and I are gonna. Red Tornado is a member of the Justice League. That makes him a League responsibility. You will leave him to us.
And in a way it does seem more true to the comics to give him this intense and brooding voice, and Bruce Greenwood has perfectly captured this version of the Dark Knight, quiet and reflective and yet still deep in his brooding thoughts. And he is also providing the voice of Batman in the upcoming film Gotham by Gaslight. A link to the movie's trailer is in this video's description. Number 1, Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman in DC's TV show Batman the Animated Series, which was really the first proper animated DC show on TV about superheroes, and it opened the floodgates for the shows that followed. Because of this, Kevin Conroy seems like he is the original voice of Batman. He wasn't actually the first to voice Batman, but he voiced Batman in his first decent rendition of the character. And because of this, myself and many other fans will always think of him as the true voice of Batman, shown by the fact that every time we hear that Batman isn't being voiced by Kevin Conroy, we're a little bit disappointed and wonder why he isn't doing the voice. Kevin Conroy has voiced Batman in countless movies and TV series episodes, and as such he has perfected his portrayal of him, from his youthfully energetic Bruce Wayne voice to his dark brooding old man Bruce Wayne voice in Batman Beyond. He captures the grittiness and intelligence of Batman without sounding too over the top in his macho-ness, and when he does have an overly dramatic line, he somehow manages to say it in a way that doesn't make it seem silly. No matter what he says, you can always take it seriously.
Where is he? I got nothing to say to you, Batman. Talk, or I'll crush every bone in your body. Okay.
And Kevin Conroy was actually the first actor to use a different voice for both Batman and for Bruce Wayne. Nowadays, this is a standard thing for any actor playing Batman to use a different voice when in and out of the Batsuit, but Kevin Conroy was the first to do this and started the trend, as the actors who played Batman before Kevin Conroy always spoke with the same voice for both Bruce Wayne and for Batman, which does make you wonder how no one ever recognised the voice of the extremely famous and richest man in Gotham. But Kevin Conroy was the first, and it shows how well he understood the character even from the beginning, and it shows how important Kevin Conroy was in moulding the current rendition of Batman that we all know and love. And that is the list of the 5 best Batman voice actors. Do you agree with this list, or are there any other people that you think should have been on this list instead? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and I'd just like to say a quick thank you to those of you who made this video possible by donating to the Needlemass Productions page on Patreon. Patreon is a crowdfunding site that is helping us to bring you more videos each week and to raise funds for adapting comic book stories into short animated films. If you're interested in donating or just want to find out more, a link is in this video's description. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.
She's working out of a penthouse in Chinatown. I swear that's all I know. If you're lying, I'll break the other one. The other what?